Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. The rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. A man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an ideal lives on. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Mankind must put an end to war before war puts an end to mankind. Those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatly. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. One person can make a difference, and everyone should try. Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names. Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. If a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. Victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. The goal of education is the advancement of knowledge and the dissemination of truth. We must find time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. The supreme reality of our time is the vulnerability of our planet. The best road to progress is freedom's road. Children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future. Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. Things do not happen. Things are made to happen. The greater our knowledge increases, the more our ignorance unfolds. We are not here to curse the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us through that darkness to a safe and sane future. The time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. Physical fitness is not only one of the most important keys to a healthy body, it is the basis of dynamic and creative intellectual activity. Art is the great democrat, calling forth creative genius from every sector of society, disregarding race or religion or wealth or color. The one unchangeable certainty is that nothing is unchangeable or certain. The human mind is our fundamental resource. We celebrate the past to awaken the future. Those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. The ignorance of one voter in a democracy impairs the security of all. Tolerance implies no lack of commitment to one's own beliefs. Rather, it condemns the oppression or persecution of others. We cannot negotiate with people who say what's mine is mine and what's yours is negotiable. A child miseducated is a child lost. In a time of domestic crisis, men of goodwill and generosity should be able to unite regardless of party or politics. The wave of the future is not the conquest of the world by a single dogmatic creed, but the liberation of the diverse energies of free nations and free men. There are risks and costs to action, but they are far less than the long-range risks of comfortable inaction. Do not pray for easy lives. Pray to be stronger men. It is an unfortunate fact that we can secure peace only by preparing for war. A nation that is afraid to let its people judge the truth and falsehood in an open market is a nation that is afraid of its people. In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty. Our problems are man-made. Therefore, they can be solved by man. No problem of human destiny is beyond human beings. The unity of freedom has never relied on uniformity of opinion. To those whom much is given, much is expected. We cannot expect that all nations will adopt like systems, for conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. When power leads man toward arrogance, poetry reminds him of his limitations. When power narrows the area of man's concern, poetry reminds him of the richness and diversity of existence. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. When written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of two characters. One represents danger, and the other represents opportunity. We stand for freedom. That is our conviction for ourselves. That is our only commitment to others. The pay is good, and I can walk to work. The path we have chosen for the present is full of hazards, as all paths are. The courage of life is often a less dramatic spectacle than the courage of a final moment, but it is no less a magnificent mixture of triumph and tragedy. The great enemy of the truth is very often not the lie deliberate, contrived, and dishonest, but the myth persistent, persuasive, and unrealistic. This country cannot afford to be materially rich and spiritually poor. There is a connection, hard to explain logically, but easy to feel, between achievement in public life and progress in the arts. We need men who can dream of things that never were. The problems of the world cannot possibly be solved by skeptics or cynics whose horizons are limited by the obvious realities. Our progress as a nation can be no swifter than our progress in education. To state the facts frankly is not to despair the future or indict the past. The rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God.